Console, online. HPG connection, online. Educational module, online. All systems, nominal.
Hello, class, and welcome to On the Origin of Battlemechs Podcast, episode 83, The Marauder, Part B. I am your host, Brent Stewart. My co-hosts today are...
I'm Joshua.
And I'm Chandler.
And
I'm
joining
Coach.
us again... And joining us again for another week of, or another episode of Marauder Goodness is Coach.
So glad to be back, guys.
Yeah,
Sorry.
glad to
I'm
have
so
you back.
excited I couldn't help it.
We could tell.
I feel like I'm a part of the fold now.
Yay!
We grant you a seat on this council, but we do not grant you the title of co-host.
Oh, that's good. That's all right. I'm not like Anakin. I'm not going to make a big fuss.
So again, we are talking about the Marauder, the 75-ton variant. And our first model today is the Marauder Bounty Hunter 3044. The Marauder Bounty Hunter 3044 has a movement profile of 353. It has an ER PPC and a medium laser in the left arm, same in the right arm. And then it has a Gauss rifle in the right torso and a medium laser in the head. It's got 15 double heat sinks and XL engine and 2 tons of ammo for that Gauss rifle. And yeah, this guy's pretty sweet.
How do you feel about that Gauss rifle?
Love it. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. So if you're going to build out a Marauder, this is... in 3044, this is the way to go. 3050, when you get the XL engine, you can beef it up to a little faster. It doesn't move very fast, but the Gauss rifle gives it that, like, the heat, how do I say this? Not as much heat as the AC. It gives the it gives the 2 PPCs Gauss rifle punch. And that's what you're looking for. That's like, I'm a long ways away from you, but I'm going to make you know that I'm here. And nothing says that better. Forget the ERPPC. The Gauss rifle is the weapon on BattleTech to be like, I'm gonna slug this thing at you. Even if I miss, you're gonna hear the whiz go by your cockpit and like, oh, that guy's got a Gauss rifle.
So you're saying the Gauss rifle allows you to whiz on people?
It does. It does. It is the whiz on anyone weapon, 100%. And then you pair that up with 2 ERPPCs, and you're just like, okay, that's scary.
Now, I thought this one had an XL engine.
Yes, it does.
Okay, my bad.
However, it doesn't have any other weight-saving equipment, so it has standard structure and standard armor.
Yeah, it doesn't have the ferrofibrous or the endosteel. So, okay, so now that makes sense. I mean, you need an XL engine with all this stuff on it, and I don't think it gave up a lot of armor.
No, it's at full armor.
It's full armor, so you got to have an XL engine, which, as a fellow co-host of mine says, that XL engines are the bane of all battle mechs. I'm like, well, it does let you get to move faster than a 2-3, so this thing needs to move faster than 2-3.
Yeah, I think I've mentioned it on this podcast before. XL really changes depending on whether or not you're playing tabletop or a video game. Because in a video game, when you have those more realistic type...
Look, better pinpoint accuracy.
Well, when you have more realistic hitboxes.
Yeah.
It can make a big difference to where, hey, I can't put an XL in my... Well, Marauder actually is a good example because its side torsos are the full dimensions of its center torso. They're actually bigger, so they're easier targets.
It is a perfect example.
Compare it to a Thunderbolt where the side torsos and center torsos are similar sized. It doesn't matter as much because you're going to take as much damage on your center torso in most cases as you are on your side, so you're more just as likely to get cored out.
Yeah.
Or nearly as likely.
Yeah, so this one definitely, the 3 jump jets help it being able to maneuver where you need to be to like focus fire your massive amount of damage that you can deal out at long and medium, and to the extent of the medium range. The 3 jump jets help a lot.
And definitely more for utility than anything else. Like, you're not getting that modifier for movement. You're trying to get up a hill real quick.
Yeah.
Or clear a block in a city.
I don't know if Jeff edited out my last thing, but I was very, very high on the Bounty Hunter just because this is how your Marauder should be built. It is extremely long scenario, the long play. It's a lot of energy, but it packs the punch of a gauze rifle. You don't have a lot of ammo, but you're going to use it when you need it, and it has the maneuverability that you need. And this just befits the Bounty Hunter perfectly. So.
See, I'm not a huge fan of it because of the speed.
That's fair.
I like my heavies to be able to do that 64 kph because they're really supposed to be more mobile than an assault. If you're going to take an assault like this, why not take an 85-ton assault mech that can actually carry this without an XL engine and still go 3.5?
I agree with you mostly, but most assault mechs aren't a Marauder, so.
Points for style, right?
Yeah, all bad. This is all style. This is all intimidation. This is 100%. I'm rolling up with my Bounty Hunter painted in all green.
With all that money decals on it.
Yep, all the money, all the credit decals on it and everything. And it's like when you see that mech, you know who it is.
Yep.
So what you're telling me is, if I got a Night Star, I'd be okay.
Yeah, probably. I'm just gonna say that the Bounty Hunter pilot is extremely good.
Yeah.
So it would be very interesting to see an average pilot Night Star versus the Bounty Hunter 5D or what is it? Yeah, 5D.
3044.
3044. 3044 Bounty Hunter. Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be interesting.
Well, this guy's got a battle value of 2103 and a point value of 41. Next up, we come to the 5D, and this guy's got a movement profile of 464. It's got the ER-PPC and medium pulse laser in the left arm, same in the right arm, and then it has a Streak SRM-2 in the left torso and a large pulse laser in the right torso. It's got 16 double heat sinks and case to protect that 1 ton of ammo for the Streak in the left torso. It's got an XL engine, and yeah, it's a pretty solid Davian Marauder.
Yep, staple. Well, it started out as a Davian, then basically everybody in the Inner Sphere gets it during the clan invasion. And by basically everyone, I mean everyone except the Capellans and the Free Worlds League.
Oh, well,
That's because they thought their PPC/large laser was still like awesome.
Oh, and Comstar. Word of Blake gets it, but not Comstar for some reason.
Well, Word of Blake just stole everything.
Yeah.
But then by the Dark Ages, it's only Draconis Combine, Filtvelt Coalition, and Mercenary. So Davians no longer use it in the Dark Ages.
That's surprisingly.
And also a note for this guy is the pulse technology is prototype, so it does a little bit less damage. And that's because, it was seen in 3047 right before the clan showed up, so they were still ironing out all the kinks from the stuff they rediscovered with the Helm memory core.
Yep. This one surprises me. It's like they're almost there, right? They've got the pulse laser, which is experimental, I understand. And the NAIS was experimenting with pulse lasers. And to me, this is so close to what you want in a Marauder, right?
Yeah.
You got the 2 ERPPCs, so you got the length. But one of the drawbacks of a Marauder is when it gets like in the fight, it sometimes lacked, like the AC didn't do as much as it should, and the medium lasers were like but you add medium pulses and then a large pulse on the top, and then pew, why not Streak 2?
Yeah,
just for like, okay guys, I'm here, you gave me 4 jump jets, I'm able to jump into the battle and I can do stuff now.
What I find really interesting about it is it turns it from a dedicated long-range platform into a dedicated bracket fighter because it can't handle that heat load at all.
Right.
So you got your ERPPCs for long range, and you can run, and then once you get up close, you have to switch to your pulses and your Streak and just leave the PPCs off unless you really need to hit somebody hard.
Yeah, it definitely leaves I can be the sniper and I can also be the knife fighter. Like they gave this Marauder the full package of like, Okay, you want to be way up on the hill and sniping with your PPCs? Cool. But all of a sudden, if your land space get into trouble, you're like, okay, we're going to give you 4 jump jets and 2 medium pulse and a large pulse and a streak 2. Go have fun, boys. Like, it's a formidable machine.
Yeah. The only thing I would like would be to see the ER PPCs not be ER PPCs and be like ER large lasers. I'm not sold on Innersphere ER PPCs. I don't know if they're worth the heat demand.
But you got to look at what they were using at the time, right? So the 5D at the time was a very experimental machine.
Yeah.
The pulse lasers, and they were just like, okay, we're going to go crazy with it, but we need some sort of like stable, machine or weapons to go along with it. And that's where the ER PPCs came in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I mean, the large pulse laser doesn't stay experimental forever. I mean, later runs of this have just a regular large pulse laser.
Another, 5 years, and it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that definitely helps.
Does this even reflect the experimental yet? Like in the rules?
I don't think so.
I don't think it does.
Rule level on the record sheet from Recognition Guide 6 lists it as standard.
Yeah.
But it does denote prototype, which decreases the damage.
Wait, for Recognition Guide 6?
Yes.
Oh, yes, I see it. 9 P.
Yep.
Well, 9 damage. That's the normal amount of damage.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
But
I thought it was 10.
It recognizes that they were using...
No, that's a clan large pulse laser. Innersphere large pulse laser. Less, I believe.
My bad. That's, yeah. So does, I guess it does...
Innersphere pulse is normally 10.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Making me second guess myself. What are you doing?
I'm second guessing myself as well.
That?
No. Innersphere large pulse laser is 9.
No.
Yes.
I'm gonna
Bum,
make
bum,
me
bum.
Tech
out
manual
the
page.
Get the book out.
Get the book. Dowie. Get the book.
The medium pulse lasers are the same. 6. So yeah. I'm just quickly going off Sarna.
So you guys are just immersing people into what it's actually like at the tabletop. This is perfect. This is great radio.
Yes. Innersphere is 9. Yeah.
Really?
So it's just listed as prototype, even though it is standard tech. Once it becomes, the stats match the standard tech, is what I'm saying.
So in other words, if you're playing the 5D, make sure that you got the stats right.
Yeah.
Because there's a big difference between the 5D 3044 and the big difference between 55.
I don't think there's a record sheet for it being an actual prototype large pulse laser. It's just denoted as being one at the era that it was produced in.
Oh, okay. There you go.
It's not like the experimental endo steel where it's like a literal different thing.
Yeah. This guy's got a battle value of 1787 and a point value of 37. Next up, we have the Marauder C, seen in 3050. And this guy is a little different because this is experimental clan tech. We've got a movement profile of 4/6. It's got a large pulse laser clan and medium laser in the left arm. And then it has the same in the right arm. It's got a Ultra AC5 clan in the right torso. It's got 19 heat sinks and 1 ton of ammo in the left torso. It also has a standard engine, so no weight savings at all.
And case, it has case.
Right, case, because it is clan tech, so it is integrated.
Isn't it mixed tech?
It's mixed tech. The record sheet I have for it says it has case in that left torso, but I don't see a slot for it, so I don't know what's going on there.
It is Innersphere medium lasers.
Yes.
But then everything else is clan.
Oh, those clans were not content with cheating with their regular advantage. They had to mix in the most effective Innersphere weapon. And throw in a pair of medium lasers.
100%. It's interesting to me because I don't know where. I mean, the Marauder C is it clan?
It's a clan
based,
second line,
or is it Innersphere and they got enough stuff to like shove into a clan model?
So if it follows the same background as the other C variants, or at least the original C variants, it's a Innersphere mech they stuffed stuff into.
Okay.
Yes.
But it
so it's a
looks like-
second line or Salama garrison unit.
It looks like when they made the Marauder C, they used clan as the base and then mixed in Innersphere tech, which is why that left torso has, or that torso with the MO has case integral.
Yes.
Is it integral? Because
I
the
don't
record
see-
sheet I'm looking at is it actually takes up a slot.
In the recognition guide 6, I'm not seeing a slot.
Yes. So the older one, which is from 3085 Project Phoenix, at least the one I have, has it listed as a slot, whereas the recognition guide one has it integrated into the, listing of this area, left torso bracket case, like standard clan tech does.
Yeah. So
Which
slight
is
retcon there, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, they also gave it 3 more heat sinks between the two variants, so
Yeah, because it looks like the original 3085 version was 2.5 tons light. So you
Mhm.
make that case integrated with clan tech, and that frees you up 3 tons to give you 3 heat sinks and cleans up the rules.
yeah.
This seems to me like it was the inner. Like this seems to me like not to harp on, or not to harp, but glorify Wolf's Dragoons is like Wolf's Dragoons made a Marauder and they had some clan tech, right? They didn't have all of it, so they threw in the best pieces they could. So the Ultra AC5, the 2 large pulse lasers, and then I'm like, what else are we gonna do? Well, we got these medium lasers that are inner sphere. Might as well throw them on too.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
a free it's only a ton, right?
They're only a ton, yeah. So it's like, well, why not? But it's still inner sphere medium lasers. So it's like, you have all this good stuff, but then when you really need that extra firepower, you're like, oh no, I got inner sphere medium lasers firing at what, 369?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the Marauder C is originally a second line mech used by the clans.
Okay,
And
so they were
all that.
bouncing off old stuff.
Yeah, so essentially what they were doing was grabbing Marauders that they had salvaged off
Sure.
the Inner Sphere,
The shells there.
profligates, and shoving what they had in it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so it looks like, at least on Mega Mech, they used clan as the base when they made it. So it has case integral because it's clan base. But
Yeah.
I think the original wasn't clan base. I think the original was at Inner Sphere base.
Which is
so
why
that might
it is
be
taking up a slot in the Project Phoenix.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's labeled experimental, so
which might be something that comes back around as
That's
maybe
weird.
a retcon or a errata later. Not
yeah,
retcon.
it's gonna have to get ratted because why would it be a experimental? If,
Because during the clan invasion, any mixed tech was experimental.
there you go. See, the more you know.
Mixed tech doesn't stop being experimental till at least late Republic era.
okay.
Let's see here. I've got new tech
Maybe
upgrades
early
already
Republic
around.
era,
Oh, let me check. I've got the nice fancy book that tells you that kind of stuff.
So this guy's got a BV of 1711 and a point value of 36.
It's a little light on armor.
It is.
184 points
Yeah.
compared to what? The average 213, something like that.
Yeah. So next up we have the MAD-5M seen in 3051. And this guy's got a movement profile of 464. It's got a large pulse laser and a medium pulse laser in the left arm. Same in the right arm. Then it has an LB-10 XAC in the right torso with 1 ton of ammo in the left torso, and then 16 double heat sinks. It's got a XL engine, and that is the only weight savings it's got.
So real quick, mixed tech stopped being experimental and moved to advanced in 3082.
Yes.
So it looks like the 5M is actually kind of the first
Fine, you're fine.
the first inner sphere integration with their upgraded, the inner sphere's upgraded weapons. It's
Yeah,
not
the first-
clan.
The first full helm.
Yeah, this is the rollout of, okay, we dissected the clan stuff. With what we were working on, we figured out how to like make our own inner sphere stuff, and this is what it looks like they shoved into the Marauder. So
Yeah, this is definitely more like it, in my opinion. It's the Innisphere large pulse. It's always kind of sad to see those because they do so poorly on tabletop.
Yeah.
They're not
Ugh.
nearly as bad once you get into Alpha Strike or video games, or I would expect reality. Like we consider it a terrible weapon solely because of classic BattleTech. It does not make sense for it to be a terrible weapon because they put it on everything.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, they do.
But when you use it in a video game, especially like Mech Warrior Online, it's a very good weapon. When you use it in Alpha Strike, it gives you good Alpha Strike damage.
Gives you good numbers. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Classic is just like, well, sorry guys, you're using Innisphere large pulses. Like, why?
I saw you had an extra mech, so I made sure his weapons were useless.
And it's got everything you want in the Marauder, right? It's got the speed, it's got the jump jets, it's got the pulses, and then the LB10X I think is an upgrade
Very solid.
from the AC, just the generic AC. So
Yeah.
LB10, you can throw in some different ammo if you need to, but it's really the pairing of the 2 large pulse, 2 medium pulse with the jump jets. That's in gameplay specifically. That's where it makes you you can take a 4-5 or a 3-4 pilot and jump, and the pulses are what kind of drives those 2 hit numbers down, which help you. Now, granted, they are Innisphere, medium pulse, and large pulse. Yes, they are, but they still give you the -2. So
I would almost prefer. I don't mind the LB10X because the LB10X is 1 ton lighter, so you get a free ton of ammo compared to a standard AC-10.
yep.
But I'd almost prefer a standard AC-10 over it because that would be 510-15 instead of 612-18. And then because of the -2 on the large pulse, you can basically treat your long range bracket as medium range and your medium range as short range, which then has your long range on the large pulse matchup in targeting numbers with the medium range on your AC-10.
Yeah.
It's not quite as neat here.
I agree with you mostly, except that the cluster rounds of LB10s paired with pulse lasers can really help.
True.
Because your pulse lasers are there to punch holes, right? And the LB10s are there to go crit seek. So if you're just gonna splatter someone that you've already been hitting for 2 rounds with 2 large, 2 medium pulse lasers, once that LB10 scatter round hits, it's gonna find a critical. So, but I understand also at the same time, an AC-10 is just like, well, I'm just gonna throw 10 points of damage at one single location, and that hurts.
Yeah.
It is kind of fragile for Alpha Strike, having 6 armor, 3 structure.
Yes.
Solid.
This one this one has just as much armor as the Marauder C, so
right,
light compared to all of its other brothers and sisters.
And I will say at this, the big thing is it's 33 points, so that's very cheap for an 8J. When you're talking about Alpha Strike stats, to move 8J and have a 441 stat line, yes, it's only a 6'3" armor structure, but at 33 points, you can bump that up to a very good pilot and still be under 50, 45 points. And Flak helps with VTOLs, so just letting you know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I just realized why the Davians don't use it anymore. Because in Alpha Strike stats, the Shadowhawk is entirely better.
Well, the 5M has a battle value of 1471 and a point value of 33, as Coach mentioned. But so definitely a lot of pew, and would have been nice to see a little more ammo so you could mix and match.
That would be nice. Yeah.
But still a solid, entry level Marauder for you. And we then come to the 5S seen in the same year of 3051. This guy has a movement profile of 4-6, so no jumping. It's got an ER PPC and a medium pulse laser in the left arm, same in the right arm, and then it has a Gauss rifle in the right torso. It's got case in the right torso to protect that Gauss rifle, which is not super useful because it does have an XL engine,
Yeah.
but salvage and
Campaigns.
cannon,
Campaigns and Alpha Strike, actually.
Okay, fair enough. And it also has 1 ton of ammo in the left torso. It's got 16 double heat sinks. So, pretty solid Marauder.
That's one thing I just realized. Case, because of the way Alpha Strike works, where you don't actually destroy locations, Case protects XL engine mechs from going boom in Alpha Strike.
Yes, very much so.
Which is actually a huge improvement for Case, because in reality, Case is pretty weak unless you're running a standard engine.
Right.
Or a light.
Well, even a light, you're still taking 10 extra heated turns. So
yeah,
you're alive, but
yeah, being alive is useful. I mean, I can
It
punch
is.
someone with 10 heat.
Any mech that has Case and Alpha Strike is definitely a plus. Well, I shouldn't say that. In Alpha Strike, 6 structure takes a long time to get through, and anytime that mech is still on the board, like that's a threat. So with 3 structure and Case, usually if you're hitting internal and you hit the classic ammo what is it? That's ammo explosion. You roll a 2, you're gonna get another crit just because of Case. So it helps a little bit, but this one's interesting to me because it has a standard engine. Or no, it doesn't. It has an excellent engine.
XL engine, yeah.
In Alpha Strike, I can tell you that having 6 structure or 5 structure or 7 structure is infuriating to your opponent because you're like, oh, he should be dead. And it's like, well, he's not. You might have some crits on him, but he is still shooting. And in Alpha Strike, to getting Uni to down and dead is your ultimate goal. So, but to go off of this mech, they're so close to like the perfect Marauder. 2 pulse lasers, 2 ERPPCs and the Gauss rifle, but it just doesn't have that jump. Oh, I feel like I could just find a way to get 4 jump jets in there. Yeah. That's the perfect model right there.
Well, this guy's got a battle value of 1799 and a point value of 36, so definitely a bit of a jump compared to the 5M. So we definitely think it's good, and the point value reflects that as well.
just not quite the kind of jump coach is looking for.
No. But I will say, with a point value, I mean, specifically, and probably both cases, this is one of those mechs where you can jump up to a better pilot skill and gunnery. It's not going to cost you a ton, but having the Gauss rifle and 2 ERPPCs at long range, you're going to be able to hit a little bit better before you actually have to get into the fight, which helps for not having the 4 jump jets. So
in Alpha Strike, having that long range of 4 is definitely a good reason to bump the pilot or the gunnery skill, or just skill Alpha Strike, up on this guy, because it is affordable, and you can actually then start to hit stuff out there, and you have enough dice to throw where you are going to get 1 or 2 hits.
Yep. Yeah, that 36. If you can get him to a 2-3 or a 2 in Alpha Strike, it's a lot. It's a little bit of points extra.
It's 50 points for a skill 2 Mat 5S.
See, that's perfect, because if you're chucking 4 dice at long range, or 2 ERPPCs and a Gauss rifle at long range, and you basically are shooting at medium range, you're so far ahead of the game.
And in Alpha Strike, you can stand still to gain a -1. Like if you got a nice, good sniper perch, then you're basically looking at a skill 1 pilot for 50 points and 4 dice at long range. That
bad boy turns into, he's so good. He's so good. It's 50 points, but
that in itself is nice for the 350 format, because it makes it easy to swap in and out.
Yes.
That's an eighth of your 200-point list.
Yes. Anything that comes out to even 50s, like, it's very easy to swap in and out.
Making math easy is always good.
Making math easy is easy.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you can sit at long range, classic or Alpha Strike.
Sorry, that'd be a fourth of your point. I don't know why I said an eighth. An eighth would be 25 points.
Yeah, it's a quarter. There you go. But either way, if you can, in either Alpha Strike or Classic Battletech, if you can shoot and not get shot at, that's the goal. That's the goal of every game in either one of those situations. So If you can find a mech like this one and take full advantage of it tactically, you're ahead of the game.
Well, next up on the list, we have the 5CS seen in 3052, of course, for Tukiad. And this guy's got a movement profile of 4-6. It's got ER PPC and a medium pulse laser in the left arm, same in the right arm. It's got an LB10XAC in the right torso. It's got 18 double heat sinks, 2 tons of ammo in the center torso, and an XL engine. This guy is pretty sweet and interesting, but don't really like the placement of that ammo, but not a whole lot you can do with the way the heat sinks are dispersed.
Yeah.
Yes, but at the same time, we get back to the whole reality versus classic rules.
Oh, yeah. I mean, fair.
Golden BBs are
Agreed.
So, like, again, if you're hitting somebody in the center torso with an AC-20 slug, I can see spalling happening. If you're hitting it with an LBX-20 cluster, 1 point of damage in the center torso should do absolutely nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Should.
I feel like he might be speaking from experience.
I think this is this is therapeutic here.
This is an old wound. He is.
Okay, I have seen it happen. I have never had it happen to me, but I felt
show me on the Wolverine 9W2 where the Hunchback 5S LB20X touched you.
Okay, I was already open torsoed there, open armored there. Listeners, Chandler is talking about our anniversary game the other night when he was running the Hunchback 5S and I was running my Wolverine 9W2. And he fell over, so I thought I would jump over and kick him in the head. Mm-hmm. And then he got up and he LB20X'd me with cluster, and I died.
And all 20 pellets hit?
Yes, for the second time that night. At least the second time that night, he had all 20 pellets hit.
There's few things in life that make me happier.
And if anybody's interested in seeing that match, I recorded it, and it is up on our YouTube channel.
Oh, awesome. Yes, I need to see that. That's awesome.
You get to watch Harris
kudos
murder
you guys
me
for
in cold blood.
That's great.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to stream it, but I had some technical difficulties, so, we made do.
Hey, recording on YouTube is just as good.
Back to the 5CS and the ammo in the center torso. It is the most protected portion of the mech. Brent has repeatedly said that in real life, there is no center, left, right. It's all torso.
Yes, my qualms are completely rule-based. I have acknowledged this.
And again, no need to beat a dead horse.
Yeah.
Golden BBs are both. And we need revised Battletech rules. We need modern Battletech. MBT. Let's make it happen.
And until that, house rules. All right.
And for those who, just a quick little thing, for those who say there's no golden BBs in Alpha Strike, I just had a golden BB from Andrew, my co-host's son, the other night. I had a fully healthy 30-25 Archer. I took 1 damage and headshot. And yeah, let's just say the game was mine, and then it wasn't.
The game was yours to lose.
Yeah.
At least it was a headshot, not a through armor critical ammo explosion.
No, it wasn't. Yeah. It was the kid rolled 12s, and then he rolled 12s again. So Wyatt, good for you, buddy. I think I would have had a judge check your dice halfway through the game because you rolled an absorbent amount of 12s, but you know what?
Absorbent.
You're Andrew's kid, so I expect nothing better, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
An absorbent amount of 12s.
Yeah, I think absurd was what he was going for there.
Exorbitant.
I like to make up words, so.
Well, this guy's got a battle value of 1648 and a point value of 36. We then come to the 5DC seen in 3055, so that would be a command mech from the nomenclature. It's got a movement profile of 464, a ER PPC and medium pulse laser in the left arm, same in the right arm. It's got a large pulse laser in the right torso, and then a small pulse laser in the center torso. It has 15 double heat sinks, an XL engine.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
and yes, it is a command console version, and it does have the
Yes.
design quirk Command Battlemech.
That
Twice the
command
command.
console is in slot 4 in the head there.
Twice the command, double the fall.
Yeah, pretty much.
I
This mech is just like, I don't know. It's like I don't need text to fill my ammo bins. Basically, it's too hot to run. It's too hot or it doesn't have enough heat sinks to alpha strike.
it's a bracket fighter again.
It does have what it needs. It's got the air PPC, the 2 medium pulse, the large pulse, and the small pulse are just like, I guess we'll just throw it in, kind of a thing.
Yeah, it's basically swapped the 2 extra heat sinks from the 5D.
The 1 extra heat sink.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 1 extra heat sink from the 5D, 2 extra heat dissipation, which allowed you to fire the ERPPCs and run.
Yeah.
It swapped that for the command console. That's all it is.
And I mean, if it has a command console, you're probably going to want to be hanging back and just using those PPCs. So I guess it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, that large pulse and medium pulse lasers are there to protect you from the head hunting lights.
Yeah.
It makes sense, but at the same time, if you're a commander and you're taking this, you're like, well, can I just get the Gauss rifle instead of the large pulse, the small pulse? Like, does that make sense? Like,
Gauss rifle weighs more. You'd have to sacrifice
I know,
something
but I was
else.
like, do I really need the command console? I mean, I
Well, that's
understand
2
where it's
people.
coming from, but
You got to remember,
important
you
people.
you got a second person in there. they got to have somewhere to sit.
Yeah,
Sure.
I mean, you're the guy pulling up the Mech Commander or HBS BattleTech overlay while your pilot does the actual piloting.
Right.
Yeah, so there's less lag.
Yeah, you're getting less lag. That's all you're getting.
Yeah.
I've reduced my
In the
latency
firefight,
to
it
1.
really doesn't do much.
Command console ping enhancer,
Yeah.
Yeah.
ping reducer.
So this guy's got a battle value of 1787 and a point value of 35. It's solid, but just like not a whole lot to talk about other than that command console.
Yeah. It's like if I really wanted my assistant to come into battle with me, then I'd be in the MHQ. So
MHQ.
it's cute. I wouldn't
mobile
take it.
HQ. Gotcha.
So we jump forward a couple years to 3067 with the 5L, so the first Liao version of the episode. It's got a movement profile of 4.6 and then 5.8 when it has its TSM active. It's got a Guardian eSIM suite in the center torso, an ER PPC and it's got an ER PPC in the right torso, an ER large laser and ER medium laser in the right arm, and same in the left arm. It's got 18 double heat sinks, and it has a standard engine, and it has triple strength monomers, as I mentioned, and stealth armor, which is pretty neat.
Yeah, this is the Capellans going all out on a popular model.
I like the large lasers. That's a good choice, I think. I do actually like the stealth armor on this one with the TSM, just because it kind of helps you ride that heat curve a little bit better. Yeah.
Yes.
Without having to shut heat sinks off as much, which on the tabletop isn't as much of an issue. But if you're playing on Mega Mech, it's a bit of a pain at times.
And because you've switched to ER large lasers, the heat curve lines up quite nicely for managing it, and not 2 PPCs.
Yeah. You're giving a little bit of damage output, like reduction, but it's still good. Like you're still hitting.
You lose damage compared to a Gauss-mounted Marauder, but compared to a large pulse Marauder, you've still got that PPC in place of the large pulse. So I'm not sure how much you're only losing 1 point, and you can put all of it at long range.
2 points.
You lose 4 points going from the PPCs
to the large lasers.
To the ER large, and then you gain 1. So you lose 3 points of damage. That's all you lose.
Yeah. And to me, that's not that big of a deal.
No.
You gain range. This feels like a commander's mech. I mean, with the stealth and the TCM, I don't know why there's TSM in here. That's the only thing I don't understand.
Because
you got to
it's
remember
gonna
this
run
is
hot, and you can get it up to a 5.8 and move like a medium mech to reposition.
Right, but you already have stealth. I mean,
Yeah, but you also got to remember this is when the Liaos had both TSM and stealth coming out in large enough quantities to actually outfit numbers of mechs. So they were just slapping them on everything they liked.
that's what it feels
So
like.
Marauder, they're like, this bad boy can hold so much
yeah, they're
TSM and stealth.
slapping the Marauder like, this bad boy can hold so much stuff.
And I mean, think about it. You're saying it feels like a commander's mech. I think the 5.8 only enhances it because now you can get to a point in the battlefield where your men need you. Hammer whatever you need to hammer. Get hot, and now you can move as fast as a standard 55-ton medium to another point on the battlefield where your guys need you. And maybe you take that turn to cool off because you're just repositioning to the other side of the battlefield.
Sure.
And then you unleash again, and it just lets you move from point to point and really kind of backstop your men in this command role you envision it in.
I mean, I would say it's more of a rapid response
Yes.
unit, but I mean, there's no reason that can't be their commander as well, right? Because they usually have a unit, a lance, a star, what have you, like that's floating to be positioned where need be, you know?
Yeah. And it's one where it's like stealth gets you where you need to be. Triple strength warrior gets you out of where you don't want to be.
Yeah.
Well, and so the thing with the stealth is since it's 10 extra heat, and your alpha strike is 39 heat anyway, and you have 36 dissipation, you really don't want to be alpha striking while stealthing,
Yeah, don't do that.
but you can easily handle firing both of your large ER larges while stealthed, or an ER large and the ER PPC while stealthed.
Yeah.
And dissipate it all.
Yeah, you could deal some damage while stealth. And that's good. That's good. That's what you want.
And then you can heat up whenever you want because you pop that stealth on.
Yep.
You alpha strike, and now you're sitting on 46 heat.
And then you're like, see ya.
Or 49 heat, dissipate 36, and you're sitting at well over TSM minimum.
Yeah, it's a very compelling Marauder, if I could say that.
Yeah. No, you can't say
it's
that.
good.
That's illegal. His celestial wisdom does not approve of what you've said.
So this guy's got a battle value of 2244 and a point value of 42. And of course it has the Project Phoenix art, which is a little different, a little more blocky, I guess.
The ugly
got
one.
some extra, big like, I think it's actually not bad art. I just don't think it looks like a Marauder.
No, it doesn't look like a Marauder.
I like
Therefore, we categorize it as the bad one.
I like
not
its
bad
feet.
as
I
in
like
the
the
mech's not
cockpit.
bad. It's just, ugh. Hate that art.
Dem feats though.
The feats are sweet.
There's some Project Phoenix art that looks amazing, like the Shadowhawk
Yes.
with Phoenix Hawk. And then there's some that you go, ugh.
Like,
I'll take the 1980s art, as bad as it is.
Just stop.
Well, the key is to not look at the Project Phoenix art from Project Phoenix. It's to go look at the Project Phoenix art that's in Technical Readout 3085.
Yeah.
Because Plog got a hold of it and made it just better.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So next up, we have the 5R seen a year later in 3068. This guy's got a movement profile of 4/6. It's got a C3 slave, a Guardian ECM suite in the center torso. The slave is in the head, sorry. And then it has a rotary AC5 in the right torso, an ER PPC and medium laser in the right arm, and same in the left arm. It has 17 double heat sinks, an XL engine, and that's all the weight savings it's got. It's got 2 tons of ammo for the rotary AC5 in the left torso, which is protected by a case. So 40 shots total, and if you walk it up real quick, that you'll burn through it real quick.
Yeah.
8 turns at the correct 5 rounds per turn.
Mm-hmm.
Although if you run it at 3 while you're at long range, you can get a couple extra turns out of it.
Yeah, and that's also assuming you're firing, every turn.
Yeah.
Which you tend to not be.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of the only 2 I have bookmarked for this session. I really like this one because the Guardian ECM and the C3 Slave, the rotary really helps bump that damage up and keep heat manageable. So yeah, this is a solid one in my opinion.
Yeah, no, this one's sweet.
I agree because it keeps the stable of what a Marauder is supposed to be. Has the 2 ERPPCs, has 2 medium lasers, but it upgrades a little bit. It does something different. And that's where the Rotary, and the C3 Slave, and the Guardian ECM, I feel like if you're going to do the C3 route, this is an automatic add kind of a thing. It's cheap enough. It's heavy enough. Moves the speed you want it to do. Deals the damage you want it to do. But yeah, I wouldn't take this as a standalone Marauder. But when I'm looking at a C3 list or something like that, this is definitely the one that you need to take.
Oh yeah, in a C3, this shines.
Yes,
And that rotary AC5 doesn't punch as big a hole as the Gauss rifle or have quite the range as a Gauss rifle. But if it gets all of its hits and you run it at rate 6, which I wouldn't recommend, it will do twice as much damage as that Gauss rifle.
yes, it's a risk. It's a
Risk reward.
risk reward Marauder.
Yeah.
The
So this guy's got
RR is or the 5R is an RR Marauder.
So this guy's got a battle value of 1877 and a point value of 41. We then come to the last machine of our episode in 3068, the MAD-5T. This guy's got a movement profile of 4.6. It's got a rotary AC5 in the right torso. It's got a targeting computer in the left torso. It's got a large pulse laser and a medium pulse laser in the right arm. Same in the left arm. It has 14 double heat sinks, an XL engine, and endo steel. It's got 2 tons of ammo for that AC5, and it is protected by a case.
Rack 5.
Cheese.
I know what you're thinking. 5T must be Torian. Sadly, no. This is a Davian only through its entire lifetime, and it makes me really sad because
This one's good.
this one's really good. Like you take everything we said about the last one and you go, well, it doesn't do ECM and networking, but you bump the damage up a lot because of that targeting computer.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what we call in the industry a cheese Marauder.
So you can see it on a nice plank of wood right beside the summer sausage, and
This is for the refined crowd.
yes, this belongs on a charcuterie board.
This one causes your opponent to bring the wine.
Yes.
Yeah.
My goodness. Anytime you see targeting computer and pulse lasers, just look at your opponent and go, really?
Well, and what's really nice is remember when we were talking about the LBX variant a little while ago, and I said I would prefer a standard AC-10 because its medium range matches up perfectly with the long range.
Mm-hmm.
It does it here.
Yes.
Yep.
And so it means you're functionally at +1 for all 3 of your primary weapons at medium at 10 hexes.
Whoever designed this Marauder was like, okay, I don't care if you're the dumbest mech warrior in the world. You should be able to hit something with this.
Get to 10 hexes and hold the trigger down.
Yeah.
Commander, send this guy in and he will do some work.
Mm-hmm.
Just make sure he knows how not to fall over.
Yeah,
Again,
exactly.
The large pulse lasers are sad because they're inner sphere, but the designer did a very good job of going, how do we maximize their efficiency? We pair them with something else that has a +2 at 10 hexes, and we just double down by going a targeting computer.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Alpha Strike, all the inner sphere pulses get better because Alpha Strike is the great balancer. And so this is a 5.50 with an overheat of 1 in
It's a
Alpha
beast.
Strike.
It's a beast. At 37 points, I know you're going to mention it later, but at 37 points, in Alpha Strike, you don't get the benefit of the targeting computer, but you do in effect get the benefit of the targeting computer because it ups your damage to reflect that you're going to hit more. So this is a beast. Stay away from this one if you're within 10 hexes.
Yeah. Engage at long range. All right,
Yes,
got it.
engage at long range.
So this guy's got a battle value of 1750 and a point value of 37.
I'm gonna bow out, guys. I'm
right.
sorry. I sincerely apologize that I have a time limit. I really hate doing this, but I do. I'm glad we got through all the variants, but I just want to say thank you guys once again for letting me do this. This is amazing to all you guys. I'm hoping all the best for the episodes coming. I'm so glad you guys let me do the Marauder. I'm jonesing about all this stuff about the Marauder. It is my favorite mech.
I've been hearing from your co-hosts.
We're happy to have you do it, especially since it meant Andrew was a lock for the Marauder too.
Yeah, I heard you guys locked him in, so good for you guys. I sincerely hope his episodes don't go better than mine. It's a constant brotherly struggle between the two of us. So,
Fair enough.
so far I'm winning in the fiction side, being a colonel, and he a lowly little major. But I'm just once again I just want to shout out you guys. Those are my only shout outs. Just you guys are awesome. Everything you're doing, the whole podcast, the whole structure you guys have going forward, it really dives deep into what some people don't. You know, if you don't have the TROs, you don't have this, you have this podcast. So it dives into what all the good stuff of what every variant. A lot of people are just like, oh, I'm just going to play a Marauder. You're like, well, which Marauder are you going to play? Well, I don't know. The one that has the best stuff. And you're like, no.
That doesn't narrow it down.
It doesn't narrow it down at all.
Do you have any idea how little that narrows it down?
Yes, exactly. I love that meme. That should be like on your Facebook page or something like that. Just that guy.
Which of the 42 Marauders are you going to play?
So, again, sorry I have to bow this time. I promise I will have more time next time. But you guys have a wonderful evening. Thanks to everyone who listens to the Origins on the Battle on the Origins of the Battlemech on the Origins of Battlemech. Sorry guys, I call you OtOoB all the time.
On the Origin of Battlemechs Podcast.
So
you'll get it right one day, Coach.
Check them out all the time. Subscribe to their channel and do all the fun stuff. So guys, thank you again. I will see you next time.
We'll see you later,
Coach.
All right. I'm really sad I'm not going to be here for the bounty hunter, but I know you guys will do it justice. So
we'll see if we can do something for you there.
Hey,
we'll talk to you later. Bye.
Think of it this way, Coach. Now you get to listen to the bounty hunter.
I know.
Deep dive.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
he's literally like tied second place for my favorite BattleTech character. So
the first favorite BattleTech character, of course, being Colonel Aaron Krull of
Colonel Aaron Krull. Exactly. How many other guys do you know that face down an entire Jade Falcon aerospace assault with just a freaking assault rifle?
I could think of one Charles Gideon.
Oh, he was already speeding away. He was already getting off. So anyway. You guys have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much. I will see you for the next installment. So have a good night.
Talk to you later, bye.
Have a good night, Coach.
All right.
Now that he's gone.
Yeah. So next up, we have our pilot profiles. And to start us off, Chandler is going to start us off.
So eloquent, Brent.
First off, we have Presenter Epsilon 5, Ives Yonchos? Inner Sphere Soup Chos. Ives was just an adept during the Battle of Tukid, and his performance with his Marauder 5 CS against the Nova Cats and his performance in his Marauder 5 CS against the Nova Cats quickly propelled him up the ranks. He received a field promotion to command of his level 2 during the first battle against the Nova Cats, where he ended up destroying a Kit Fox with a single salvo. Yet again, later in the campaign, Ives was promoted when his immediate superior was killed, and he ended up being in command of his own level 3, and he continued to pilot his MAD 5 CS until he was murdered on Capra in 3066. That's for you, Ives. That's not a way to go. Face down the clans and gets murdered.
Picked the wrong side in the schism, I suspect.
He sounds like it. The timeline lines up.
Hold on, let's Capra. Sorry, let's see if anything actually happened to Capra. Then Caprica.
Caprica. We know what happened there.
No, it's just a generic system. Nothing happened. He just was murdered on Capra.
Yeah, probably by Rom.
Yeah. Next up, we have Acolyte Epsilon 2, Mika Glenoris. And Mika is an example of a pilot having too much machinery for them to handle, and many regard him as the worst pilot to ever sit in a 5CS Marauder. Reports say that his scores were acceptable in the simple simulator, but when given access to the ERPPCs and the different ammo types, Mika never utilized these systems to their fullest possible extent. That is to say, he never switched ammo types in a fight and fired his ERPPCs like they were regular PPCs. Mika died on Tukid in the early days of the fighting when a clan warrior scored a headshot. Until the death of the clan warrior, they would swear on their honor that they heard a thank you on the open channel, believed to have come from a member of Mika's level 2.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
I sure hope my Marauder pilot today is not an incompetent.
We'll see.
Lieutenant Rindy Plover is our next pilot. Plover's Marauder is a 5T, which came off the production line a year after the Bromhead Massacre. Like most of Hansen's Rough Riders, Plover's family was murdered during the Bromhead Massacre by the 2nd Taurian Lancers. Plover spent her time during the Rough Riders' war against the Concordat, specifically targeting civilians in revenge. On McLeod's land in 3074, her comrades spent 2 days ransacking the Pinard Protectorate's factory. She slipped away to the capital city of Dougal and began systematically destroying the southeast residential quarter block by block. After a while of this, the planetary militia arrived, and she put her targeting computer to good use and blasted them into submission before returning to her original goal. It's estimated that she killed some 15,000, or at least some 15,000 civilians died in the carnage during her rampage. Taurian news broadcasts reported on the atrocity, after which Plover was heard to remark, "That's a good start," and she would repeat her explicit attacks on non-combatants on every Taurian world the Rough Riders visited. But the slaughter was never sufficient to repay her sense of loss for her husband and 3 young children. She died on Terra in 3068 in a Blakis nuclear attack. And good riddance. So mine wasn't incompetent. She was just a psychopath.
Clearly had some sort of mental break from the trauma.
Like, I get wanting revenge. I truly do. Not saying
But you don't direct it at civilians.
Yeah. Okay. Or if at least if you're going to direct it at civilians, you find the civilians of the unit that caused, like that's still reprehensible and horrible, but it at least it's direct.
I mean, yeah, but I don't think it's any better.
I said it's still reprehensible and horrible.
No, we're dancing around in shades of black.
Yeah. All
right, next up, and I believe last for the episode, right?
Indeed.
Yes.
Next up and last, we have Captain Kathy Ringman Kidd, who piloted a MAD 5D Marauder as part of the 1st Davian Guards. Ringman Kidd fought to reclaim the worlds of Port Arthur and Yamarovka from Clan Smoke Jaguar during Operation Bulldog. Ringman Kidd is notable as even though she was raged. Even though she was raised to despise House Kurita in the years prior to the clan invasion, she willingly put her own life at risk to save an 8th Ashland Avengers Hatamoto Chi from Smoke Jaguar mechs. She would end up destroying one Conjure and driving off another Conjure and disabling an Ebon Jaguar, escorting the severely damaged Hatamoto Chi back to friendly lines.
Conjurer? You mean Wolverine 2C?
Wolverine, tomato. Tomato.
Kind of amazing that. Oh no, Lieutenant Ringman Kidd. Never mind. It's like this is amazing. A Comstar person who's not also horrible, but never mind.
Wait, they're not Comstar.
It makes sense now.
El Capitan.
So that is our last notable pilot for the episode. We are now going to move on to our data dive, which is
about
tangential to the notable pilots. It's today we're going to dive into the Bounty Hunter.
So really, folks, what Brent means to say is continuing our notable pilots, we're going into our deep dive.
Tomato.
Tomato, potato,
potatoes.
Boil and mash and put them in a stew.
Indeed. So throughout the ages, the Inner Sphere has been a lawless place. and many have ventured out to take the law into their own hands for profit, but none are as well known as the bounty hunter. But that is likely because the bounty hunter is not a person. The bounty hunter is an idea, and as we all know, you can't kill an idea.
I don't know.
The first records we have of sorry, go ahead.
I say it's an idea, but a better definition might be it's an avatar.
Fair enough.
A
He is very
title
much
that is taken up in the name of money and good fight.
It's true. So the first records we have of a individual going by the moniker the Bounty Hunter date back to the 2920s and indicate that an individual who piloted a green warhammer and wore a mask to hide their identity started targeting rogue or notorious mech warriors with large bounties on their head. More often than not, the bounty would be turned in dead, and we have stories of the bounty hunter taking on entire units individually to get to their target. The story we can most authenticate as true is when the bounty hunter turned in 29 individuals responsible for a bank robbery on Al Giza. Invoices made public after the jihad show that they collected several million for the bounties, and myth says that they made even more selling the salvaged machines. Shortly after Al Giza, the bounty hunter first disappeared from public view. 3 decades later, an individual again piloting a green warhammer, and now obscuring their identity using a Star League-era MechWarrior combat suit, started collecting pirate bounties in the periphery and turning them into the Principality of Regulus. From there, they traveled to every corner of the Inner Sphere, metaphorically speaking, to take down the largest bounties and the most notorious mech warriors. By the 2980s, the bounty hunter had shifted their operating procedure and now would recruit a team for specific one-off missions. Often talent was pulled from the bounty hunting community or mercenaries the bounty hunter had dealings with in the past. By the 2990s, the bounty hunter appears to have recognized the strength of having a regular team and so started to travel with a small support crew. The bounty hunter unit would normally comprise 4 to 6 mechs. During this time, the bounty hunter is noted to have also piloted a grasshopper and a griffin. Another change is that the bounty hunter's targets before were exclusively mech warriors, but now the bounty hunter would take down any target for the right price, be it military, political, or scientific. This is also when the paint job of the bounty hunter changed, from a simple green to green with symbols of currency marking along the machine. This is also when the machines of the unit would abandon their previous paint for the simple green of the bounty hunter. This is the point when the bounty hunter turned from folk hero to boogeyman, and their actions support the souring of public opinion. It is in this era that the bounty hunter unit would take alternating jobs between the Federated Sun and the Capellan Confederation, each time escalating tensions along the border, hopping across. Later, they then secured 2 bounties from the AFFS and booked passage with a raw mercenary company into the Draconis Combine. While in transit, the bounty hunter and his team killed and secured the mule dropship for themselves and continued on to the Draconis Combine. Eventually, an escalation of this sort of variety would lead to the bounty hunter being in conflict with another titan of the Inner Sphere. The titan that would square off against the bounty hunter would be the one, the only, Natasha Kerensky, the Black Widow herself. Now, the conflict between the Black Widow and the bounty hunter is worthy of a data dive in and of itself, but let us say that it was bloody, and it spanned many star systems and many years before being, air quotes, resolved. But when it was all said and done, the bounty hunter and Natasha were both alive, and Natasha now piloted a Warhammer, and the bounty hunter now piloted a Marauder, a machine that would become synonymous with the bounty hunter as time moved on. During the time between the Fourth Succession War and the Clan Invasion, the bounty hunter would take contracts often targeting the Draconis Combine, and ended up working in parallel with the Wolf's Dragoons. And for the time, that is what the bounty hunter did, keeping that Cold War still a war and making moves to build their reputation that none could match. But who needs to match your reputation when they have better tech? The clans arrived in the Inner Sphere and were probably the best thing to ever happen to the bounty hunter's reputation. for they took contracts fighting the clans and were one of the few individuals who not only survived in the early days, but were able to capture a clan smoke jaguar Mad Cat. This tech upgrade sadly cost the bounty hunter their iconic Marauder and several allies. They then continued to fight on against the clans until defeated on behalf of the Rasselhog and retiring for some time. In 3064, the bounty hunter reactivated, working in and around the Chaos March. At this time, there are conflicting reports of the bounty hunter appearing in separate star systems at the same time, one in the signature Marauder, the other in the recently adopted ride of the Mad Cat. Many believe that these were pretenders or copycats attempting to capitalize on the bounty hunter's reputation. Eventually, it became clear that the true bounty hunter was in fact back. This was beyond dispute when they conducted an operation to capture Kai Allard Liao alive, and were successful.
Ed, that's for the listeners who haven't read about Kai Allard Liao. His father, Justin Allard Liao, or Justin Allard, I guess.
Yeah, Justin Allard. Yeah, is it Allard or Allard?
Tomato.
Allard, probably.
He became one of the top Solaris stars almost overnight in the Warrior trilogy. Kai inherited his father's ability to pilot a battlemech and took it to a whole new level, and was widely considered to be the best mech pilot in the galaxy. And spoiler alert.
And possibly of all time.
Yeah, and spoiler alert, when Kai died, he took an entire company of Capellan Death Commandos with him, by himself.
Mm-hmm. So the Capellan's elite of the elite, a company got taken down by one dude.
Preceded him into the afterlife.
Yeah.
So when the bounty hunter captured him alive, that's pretty impressive. Assuming It was in a mech-to-mech fight.
Yeah.
It was in a mech-to-mech fight, but there was some dirty dealings with a hostage and it being Kai's child.
Well, there you go.
But it was, by all accounts, a fair fight.
How fair is fair?
Yeah. In the early 3070s, the bounty hunter appears to have started a long-term contract with Chandasakar Karida, or Uncle Chandy, and would remain a preferred operative until the late part of the Jihad. The bounty hunter and their team would take down several Word of Blake operatives and personnel in key locations. Despite this, they were implicated by several high-level assets in the Draconis Combine intelligence community as working with the Word of Blake. The implications of the bounty hunter working both sides is not outside the realm of possibilities for the bounty hunter persona. The bounty hunter was able to escape the Draconis Combine, but all of their previous known contacts were killed off incidentally or targeted for working with Word of Blake. The bounty hunter never appears to have replaced his lost comrades, instead again shifting to a solitary hunter for the remainder of the Jihad and into the Republic era. There they shifted again from a mercenary to a true bounty hunter and started to target war criminals. The Dark Age brought the bounty hunter back to the mercenary life, and reports placed them fighting on behalf of Katana Tormark for several years, alongside the fledgling Dragon's Fury and then the Draconis Combine proper military. When the warlord turned to the internal dealings of the Draconis Combine, the bounty hunter remained in the remnants of the Republic as a gun for hire, and appears to be operating as such into the Ilclan era. Our sources for today are Sarna, Battletech Battlemech Manual, Master Unit List, TRO 3039, Record Sheets 3039 Unabridged, Experimental Tech Succession Wars, Historical Turning Point Gator, Operation Turning Point Frank Reaches, TRO Clan Invasion, Battle of Tukiad Supplemental, TRO 3075, Record Sheets 3075 Age of War, Record Sheets 3085 Unabridged Project Phoenix, Record Sheets 3145 New Tech New Upgrades, Ilclan Recognition Guide Volume 6, Experimental Tech Caveats, and Interstellar Player's Handbook and the Bounty Hunter Dossier. This podcast is made possible by our supporters on patreon.com/On the Origin of Battlemechs, link in the description. Our social media on Twitter is at Origin of Mechs. We also have a community Discord, the Armory of Ouroboros, link in the description. You can email us at ontheoriginofbattlemechs@gmail.com. If you enjoy the show, please leave a review on your platform of consumption, tell your friends about us, and share on your community platform of choice. Special thanks to my friend Laura for the intro and outro. Our ace pilots are John Keith III and Metal Ed. Blast dismissed. Everybody have a great day.
Peace out, Mech Warriors.
Stay safe out there.
Module complete. System standby. Would you like to load the next module?
My cat is apparently scratching at the door.
Meow.
So the
Meow.
yeah, pretty much. No, he's playing with the door stop, the springy one.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.